write this in an email. See, this is the kind of stuff I write.
I urge my Republican colleagues to stand up, grow a spine, stop bowing down to your king, Donald Trump, represent your constituents like you were elected to do, and vote no on this horrible, big, ugly bill. I yield back.
Yeah, go Tim.
For the third time, the chair would remind members not to engage in personalities toward the president, or they will be
saying, if you're like, what does engage in personalities mean? Apparently, calling Trump by what he wants everyone to refer to himself, a king, is wrong. If you say engaging in personalities, like for instance, when Margarine Taylor Greene attacked Jasmine Crockett and said, like made fun of her eyelashes or something, I can't even remember what she said to her. And then Jasmine Crockett called her, what was a bad butch body, whatever, like that whole thing. That's what you would call engaging in personalities. It's like when you personally kind of go after someone's appearance or their person, right? And all he said was that Trump's a king. Like, that's ridiculous. That's what Trump posts memes of himself as.
Called out of order. Gentlewoman from North Carolina.
Mr. Speaker, the House is not in order.
That's her. The ghost of Margarine's future. There she is, the chair of the Rules Committee. In 10 years, I imagine Margarine looking exactly like Virginia Fox, North Carolina. Can we not get rid of this woman? Is there nothing we can do to get rid of this woman? In 10 years, Margarine will look and talk just like her. We don't need to.
In order. The House will be in order.
Democrats are yelling shit about Trump in the background. That's what's happening. They're yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you stop nothing. They think you're a joke. Okay, so here's that they had to get it. Virginia's like, can we not get any Republican to get up here and defend this? So Representative Mike Kennedy from Utah gave it a shot. Like, look how much he doesn't seem to want to be up here. Does this look like someone that sure...
We need to right-size these programs. Mr. Speaker, if we don't take a different trajectory, these programs will collapse under the economic failures of prior administrations. The reality behind this is this bill that we're discussing today, it is insisting on work requirements associated with the recipient of Medicaid. If you're an able-bodied working adult, you should be able to go out and find a job. If you can't find a job, you need to go to a training program and try to find training so that you can get a job and ultimately get off Medicaid. One of the components about Medicaid, you need to right-size.
K-State, the obvious guy, like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Like, he's just like, I'm just going to state as many obvious things as I can while my voice is visibly shaking. And I hope no one notices. Like, he's like, I'm going to state the most obvious facts about this bill that nobody is disputing. Like, yeah. And again, like, if you've been here the whole time, you know, this bill is modeled after Georgia's state Medicaid program, which is called Pathways, which has work requirements. And it's not that people don't qualify for the work requirements. It's that they have to report them every single month through a government reporting system that is impossible to use, literally. And then people just get kicked off their health care. That's the point of this. Just like what Trump did through Doge with Social Security, closing Social Security offices, shutting down the hotline, making it as hard as possible as it is to claim benefits that people deserve and paid taxes on forever. Okay, and this is a great moment. Jasmine Crockett in like the middle, it was like 11 p.m., I think, Eastern time, showed up in the Rules Committee to yell at Virginia Fox and debate the rule. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. So this is Jasmine Crockett last night late in the Rules Committee debating.
No one has talked about how many billionaires we actually have in this country. We have more billionaires in the United States than any other country, but the total number is 83. Last time I checked, we have 435 members in the House, and we have 100 members in the Senate, yet somehow 83 people in this country have more representation than the hundreds of thousands that are about to lose their health care as well as their SNAP benefits. If I just started going through the Republicans that sit on this committee briefly, I would tell you that, Chairwoman, you have 112,000 people that are about to lose SNAP benefits.
She's talking to the ghost of Marjorie's future, Virginia Fox, about her district in North Carolina. And I can tell you, 112,000 in one district. That's a scary amount of people to lose Medicaid. That's on the very high end. Like so what she's saying is you've been elected by impoverished MAGA Republicans to protect their interests, and you're sitting here overseeing selling them out, you weirdo.
I would tell you that, Chairwoman, you have 112,000 people that are about to lose SNAP benefits just in your district. I would tell you that it is estimated in your state, as your senators stated, that roughly 651,982 would lose their health care. Or I would tell Rep. Fishbach that 67,000 people on SNAP, and in the entire state of Minnesota, 173 would lose their health care. I could go on with these numbers, or I could tell you about the fact that even when we look at my state, and I know that Chip Roy sits on this committee, but he's not here right now, but we have 56,000 people that are on SNAP in his district. But in the entire state of Texas, we have 1.6 million people that may lose coverage. And no one is talking.
Someone said they have a girl crush on Jasmine Crockett. If you have followed me for a long time, I worked on the Kamala Harris campaign in Arizona. It wasn't paid. I don't want to accept money to work on political things, because then I feel like they're going to try to make me not say what I think. But I met Jasmine Crockett, and I was so creepy. And I mean, I was like on a live stream. Everyone watched it. She's like, I like took a picture with her, tried to like cling to her. She's like, please get away from me, weirdo. And I was like, okay, bye. Love you. I love you so much. No, but I say this like after the live stream, I was telling, like, I can't explain it, but she showed up to just an office where people were about to go knock door to door at this campaign. Actually, a lot of people did. Like Glenn Close came. That was the weirdest political. We were in a room that was like the size of like someone, maybe a large master bedroom, not large at all. And like Glenn Close showed up, Jessica Alba, Jasmine Crockett. I'm trying to remember all the people. But Glenn Close was the weirdest one. Like Oscar winner Glenn Close, you're just here to motivate us all before we go knock on doors. Okay, this is crazy. Like, it was so weird. But like, I can't explain it to you. Jasmine Crockett is not tall. She's probably like 5'4". I don't know, like 5'3" or 5'4". But like, it's like, you can just see this, like the crowd part. Like, I just can't explain someone who's like projecting power. But yeah, it was truly amazing to watch. Oh, and not to creep anyone out, but she smells great. Much better than I'm sure Trump's $256 bottle of cologne. Yeah, like I just can't. But like people move when Jasmine Crockett walks. It's fascinating to watch. I'm sure she smells better than Trump. Absolutely positive. But again, I have 2 more clips of Jasmine in the Rules Committee because this went on.
State. And I know that Chip Roy sits on this committee, but he's not here right now. But we have 56,000 people that are on SNAP in his district. But in the entire state of Texas, we have 1.6 million people that may lose coverage. And somehow we have 83 billionaires. And somehow they have 535 people that are speaking up for them every single day to make sure that when they get married for a second or third or fourth time, that they can go ahead and have another $50 or $60 million wedding. Instead of protecting access to these programs, you're cutting them to help billionaires who pay less in taxes than some of the teachers in our country. You claim to want a tax system and budget that helps people, but that's impossible when you're subsidizing tax credits off of the folks who can't even afford to treat their kids or family to a nice meal because federal minimum wage hasn't gone up in 15 years. State. And I know that.
Exactly. And I love her glasses. I could never pull off those glasses, but I just love those glasses too. Like, just love. Oh, and here's the best part of the whole thing. This is my last clip of Jasmine.
I will wrap up by saying this. I don't really understand what it is that y'all plan to go back and tell your constituents. I'm glad that some of y'all decided to show up, but the reality is that you have sold your constituents out for 83 people in this country. And each of our districts should have approximately 766,000 people. How is it that you can explain that we still are running up the credit card and we have nothing to show for it except for the fact that we won't have food on the tables and we won't have health care? And with that, I will yield.
Thank you.
Give it. I love Virginia. Thank you. I'm a weird skeleton who is pretending I was not just humiliated. Cool. Like, it's going to be so great when people of North Carolina, this is your chance. We can finally get rid of Virginia Fox, or time can pass by and I guess she could just expire. But I would love it. I wonder if she's going to seek re-election. I really hope not. It's time. If Tom Tillis is going, Virginia Fox, you should have been gone. You should have been gone a couple decades ago. Time to go on, get Virginia. Oh, and Stacey, thank you so much. Sorry I didn't see it sooner. I have so many windows open. Normally I have more screens and I can see this stuff in real time. Thank you for the $10 on Cash App. For keep up the good work. Thanks for educating all of us. Thank you. And thanks for being here. Cause this relationship is symbiotic. Oh, this is a really good clip. Sorry. I get excited because now do you guys see, if you were here at the beginning of this live, I said, if you watched Monday's live, which all of the replays of the People's Receipts or any lives I'm in are on my YouTube, which is A Girl Has No Name, just like my account name on TikTok. I just feel like representatives, and maybe it's because they're younger on average age, maybe it's because they get elected every 2 years and need to fight harder and care more. But I just think the fight in the House is always, it's I believe it. You know what I mean? People in the House, when they're fighting for things, it's you can feel that they mean it, that they care. And it's sometimes with the Senate, on Monday, I played clips of Senate floor debates, which they're better. I think Senate Democrats have started to understand, hey, we're all watching and you need to try much harder than you are. But it's they're so used to just staying there and being entrenched in power. I just don't feel it like I feel it in the House. When the House when the House Democrats put up a fight, I believe it. I believe it's coming from their souls, I believe they are sick to their stomachs when they are yelling about this stuff. I just don't feel it all the time. I'm not saying every senator, because I feel about Chris Murphy. I don't feel that way about every senator. I'm just saying on average, when I watch these fights happen on Capitol Hill, it's I believe it more from House Democrats.
Are they supposed to go to get health care? 80 million Americans get their health insurance through Medicaid. Almost half of all American children get their coverage through Medicaid. What are you doing? Where is your humanity? What is the most chilling and soul-crushing part of this entire process is that the Republican majority doesn't care. They don't care. And this isn't speculative. It isn't being presumptuous or guessing about their intentions. They are literally telling us. The Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, called gutting Medicaid minutia and kicking millions of Americans off their health insurance immaterial. Republican Senator Mitch McConnell said Americans who are concerned about losing Medicaid will, quote, get over it. Republican Senator Joni Ernst defended the life-threatening gutting of Medicaid by saying, well, we're all going to die.
And then strolled through a cemetery. And then after facing horrific backlash from Iowa, which I think people of Iowa, it's time for Joni Ernst to go lay down in that cemetery. She trolled you in. Instead of saying, hey, I shouldn't say that. People are going to lose their lives. 50% of children are on Medicaid in America. 42% of babies, their births are funded by Medicaid. That's not a funny joke. She went and strolled through a cemetery and mocked the people of Iowa again. Time for Joni Ernst to go bye-bye. Take a nap. Forever.
As we sit here today, I am outraged by what Republicans are doing to future generations. I never want to hear Republicans say that they are the party of families ever again. Half of all children in the United States of America get their health care coverage through Medicaid. 1 in every 4 children in the United States of America get food assistance through SNAP. Republicans are taking away health care and food from our children in order to prioritize billionaires and perpetuate wealth inequality. It's wrong, it's immoral, it's unconscionable. We haven't even begun to unpack all the ways in which this bill is a moral abomination and honestly an embarrassment of a piece of legislation. If you were serious about putting together a good budget for the American people, you wouldn't try to shove it through on an artificial deadline. You wouldn't force debate through the dark cover of night. You wouldn't vote on it without even reading the text of the bill.
And people of Minnesota, you probably know better, but I believe this is Representative Kelly Morrison, which I think I was going to say she's definitely a doctor. I think she is actually an OBGYN. Like, she delivers babies. And I think that's why she's like so angry about this, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, I love her. And again, not many people show up to debate these types of bills in the Rules Committee, but yeah, like, she's brilliant. Oh, yeah, and this is Yasmin. Wait, I'm going to get it wrong. Yasmin Ansari, who just was elected in the last election to the House in Arizona, which there's another really good rep. When I was working on the Kamala Harris campaign in Arizona, when I met Tim. Oh my God! Why can't I can only remember her last name? What? Oh my God! What is the governor of Minnesota's last name? Why can I can only think of the person I'm about to talk about. What is his Walls? Sorry, I was gonna say Fox, and I can only picture her last name. Not only is Yasmin Ansari super young, but someone running in Arizona is now. I met in line. She was like another influencer working on this campaign, and she's running, I think, in either the 6th or 7th district in Arizona. And I met Yasmin Ansari several times. And it's like, even when you hear someone give campaign speeches, like, you don't know like how fierce they are, like how that's going to pan out. And it's like, when I watch her in the oversight and accountability hearings, and now she showed up in the Rules Committee in the middle of the night to, almost at midnight to scream about this, I'm like, man, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. Like, in Arizona, it's hard. Sometimes I don't know if we can elect young people, but even in Arizona, like what we saw from Mamdani, the guy who trounced all over, oh my God, I'm forgetting another name. What is that guy's who used to be governor of New York State? Last name Andrew, whatever, and his brother Cuomo. Yeah. Like, right, what we saw from that primary is that 18 to 35-year-olds, we almost doubled the 18 to 35-year-old turnout. If you compare it to registered Democrats at that age group, like, these people came out of nowhere to vote for this guy. And it's like, I see that happening in Arizona, where younger and younger people, including women, are being elected, which... believe me, I say including women, because if you understand Arizona, that's getting large groups of Hispanics to value women could sometimes be difficult. But she represents like the greater Phoenix area, Glendale, and she is tearing it up. Again, this is Yasmin Ansari.
Of ours. So to my Republican colleagues, I have a genuine question for you. I'm sure all of your constituents would like to know, have you read this bill? I mean, have you taken the time to even try to look at it, try to skim it? I mean, new text came out today. And if you have, does all of us being here right now, sitting here, mean that you're okay with everything that's in it? Are you okay with millions of people losing their health care as a result of this bill? Are you okay with people losing their homes as a result of this bill? Are you okay with millions of jobs being lost because of the clean energy rollbacks? Are you okay with billions of dollars going to ICE to rip families away from one another, to allow and enable Donald Trump to continue to break the law and to cement himself as a dictator of what is now an authoritarian regime? Either way, honestly, I don't know which one is worse. But I know that either way, your constituents and Americans deserve so much better than this.
Amen, Yasmin. Tell the people. And here's one more clip, like when she lands the plane. She is
make
amazing.
getting a degree possible for people, for rural families, working families, students who are the first in their families to ever be able to go to college. These are future teachers and nurses and doctors and innovators. We cannot make school even more unaffordable and out of reach for them. This bill is a massive step backward for our future. It sells out our communities, guts our healthcare, and slashes programs that millions of Americans depend on. Letting this bill pass will be a death sentence for many in this country. And the fact that you can all sit here so callously, not caring at all, and doing whatever it is that Donald Trump tells you to do is disgusting. I yield back.
Thank you. And that's why I do agree. Too bad David Hogg left the Democratic Party, right? Because like the leadership didn't agree with his plan to primary a bunch of people. Like I do. Listen, I understand the nuance of Congress of like, we need to hold seats any way we can. And like, that's why I did that whole thing a few minutes ago explaining like how tough it is in New York and why I think people are accepting money from AIPAC. Like, but I do think if people want to run for Congress who are young and people in whatever district all across the country, if they want to choose a progressive young candidate who will say things like you just heard her say, I think they should be allowed to run in a primary. Period. Like, let's see what the people want to hear. Because when I hear people, and we're about to get to what I was telling you about how this is almost midnight last night in the Rules Committee. And like Maxwell Frost comes in there and is just like, you could tell all the young people, because like, I don't know if there's like a stack rank of who gets to go first, but it seems like all the young people had to go last in the middle of the night. And Maxwell Frost just came in and just like unloaded on these people. Like you could just feel his rage. And it's like, I would rather have people that I could feel their fury, for people losing health care, for children fearing being pew-pewed in schools, right? For veterans not being able to get the health care they need after fighting from our country. Yes, Maxwell Frost is coming. Don't worry, I wouldn't do that to you and not have the clip. But I'm just saying, like, I do think David Hogg was right. Like, I think everyone should get a chance to run in a primary. But I think the problem there is money. Like, because I also get it from the other side. The job of a Speaker of the House or a ranking member is to fundraise, right? And to make sure at the end of the day that party holds the House, right? And I mean, I've said this a million times. If you don't understand if the North Carolina Supreme Court wasn't unbelievably corrupt, we would have held the House. Hakeem Jeffries would have successfully held the House if the maps in North Carolina weren't gerrymandered by a Republican Supreme Court. Oh, which, by the way, we have so few little good news. I don't know if anyone saw in Wisconsin when we held that Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. I don't know if anyone saw what happened today, but they got rid of that AB ban from like 170 something years ago. And that's why those seats matter so much. Elon Musk spent millions and millions of dollars trying to steal a Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. And because we held that seat, and I'm quoting Elon Musk when they're like, why are you spending so much money in Wisconsin? He said, so goes the Wisconsin Supreme Court, so goes the House. And now you are seeing what he means. And if we were holding the North Carolina Supreme Court, we'd be holding the House right now. That's how much this stuff matters. And now women can have health care in Wisconsin because we held the Supreme Court. Yeah, it's actually quite beautiful, but I don't want to distract from the importance of what's going on. Oh my God, here comes, look, that Marjorie, don't you think she looks Marjorie will look like this in maybe it's less than 10 years. She's well on her way. with she's got to keep getting filler. Otherwise, her face would probably already look like this. I mean, in 10 years, margarine, this will be margarine. Sooner rather than later, I think. But here's where we go. Like Andrew Clyde comes in, who's disgusting, and a representative in Texas who owns a bunch of Pew Pew stores, and comes in the middle of the night at the end when they're about to wrap things up. And if you know anything about Maxwell Frost, his whole platform in Florida is about regulation of pew pews, because Parkland was a thing. Jared Moskowitz too, like they have been involved in school pew pewer situations, and they're very passionate about this stuff. And then the guy that owns a bunch of pew pew stores in Tennessee is presenting an amendment so they can profit more off the sales of pew pews. And I think this is probably Maxwell Frost was listening to this, and then just like it was like fueling his rage. Like, this is the most disgusting part of capitalism.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Stoneman Douglas. Jared Moskowitz went to Parkland, and I couldn't remember the name Stoneman Douglas. Thank you, Lisa. See, I don't need to remember things because you guys are brilliant. I don't need to remember anything. Like, thank you, because I'm a perfectionist and I hate when I don't know what I'm talking about, and you guys always fill in the blanks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appear before you today to testify in support of my amendment to eliminate the tax registration requirements for suppressors and short-barreled firearms under the National Firearms Act.
Yeah, so he's trying. Oh God, I can't even. Andrew Clyde is vile. I mean, most of the representatives in Tennessee are disgusting people. Especially the men. What's the Tim Burchett? Andrew Clyde. I feel like I'm forgetting one more. The guy. Andrew Clyde's the one that like takes picture. His Christmas card is like him and his kids with like ARs. Like, it's disgusting. But no, that man owns a chain of pew pew stores and will have greater margins and make more money. He is literally presenting amendments he directly will financially profit from. But, MAGA can't think for themselves or do math, so they don't care that someone is that corrupt. But, whatever. So anyways, here comes the first part of Maxwell Frost saying something, which I do love when people throw the Bible in fake Christians' faces.
Urge people to read the bill and vote no on it. And I do have to bring up one thing, because Representative Hank Johnson earlier brought up some Bible verses about taking care of each other and the poor. And Madam Chair, you looked at him and said, you read those verses, which is great that you read them. I read them too. James 2:26 says faith without works is dead. So we can read the Bible verses all you want, but until you stand up for the health care of people, the poor, the people in our communities, those works are dead. I yield back.
I know that scripture very well, too. Dr. Adams, you're recognized.
Quiet, Virginia. You can barely keep your head at sitting upright. Like, just quiet, weirdo. And then here comes more, right, from creepy Andrew Clyde. Scanlon goes after him for introducing amendment he's going to directly profit off of at his pew pew stores.
Okay. Understood. I think we'll all disagree on that one. But you do own a couple gun shops, right? At least?
I do.
Taken in about.
Glad this is probably near the end of the live, because there's some language that's about to be used that could get. Let's all tap the screen aggressively. Let's gift. Let's share the live, because if I remember, there's a lot of things. I remember recording this and thinking like it's either this or the coming clips, where I was like, oh, good thing this is some of the last clips I'm recording, because this may be the last clips I play. And really quick, in case I get banned, I did thank you, Aunt Julie. I just saw your Venmo. Miss you. So happy you're back. I quit smoking 5 days ago. Awesome. Just like we talked about. You can never get rid of me now. Creepy. I know. That's not creepy. If you're creepy, I'm creepier. That's why you're my aunt. Love you. Thank you so much. Okay. So if I remember correctly, it's either this clip or the coming clips that are going to get real hostile and weird and probably say some words that are bad. So let's all aggressively tap the screen, and we love TikTok shop, whatever.
Okay. Understood. I think we'll all disagree on that one. But you do own a couple gun shops, right? At least?
I do.
Taking in about $12 million a year?
I believe in the constitutional right to keep and bear arms,
But
as I
you
think
have a
every
couple-
solitary person should believe in.
Your
Yes.
business is selling guns and accessories, is that right?
We are enabling the individual participation in the preservation of liberty. That's what we do.
And I understand that
This is Jim McGovern in the background, because I love Jim McGovern because just like I can't stop talking. He's like, you hear him in the background go, "You're making money. Stop acting like you're running a charity, you sicko." And does Andrew Clyde give absolute creep vibes to anyone else? Is it just me, or is Andrew Clyde so creepy? Like, oh my gosh, I just mistook Andrew Clyde with someone else. Andrew Clyde's from Georgia, not Tennessee. That's okay. Sorry. The guy who does the Christmas card with the ARs is someone else. Sorry. That's someone from Tennessee. Sorry. It's been a long day. It just occurred to me when I was like, no, that's a different face. But Andrew Clyde is super creepy looking.
the push to deregulate silencers and braces and other things is being led by the gun sales operations because there's a higher profit margin there, and sales of guns themselves tanked after the pandemic ended. So from what we understand here is this is yet another NRA gun manufacturer supported grift effort to make money, and I would just seek unanimous consent to introduce the Washington Post article from June 27th, Republicans' tax bill would water down a central gun law.
Yeah, it's both their names are Andrew. That's right. It's Andy Ogles who did the pictures with the ARs, and he's in the district. The Christian school is in Andy Ogles' district where a pew are unalive children. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Both Andrews. Andrew Clyde is from Georgia, and Andy Ogles is from Tennessee. Sorry about that. I like to get things right. Okay, so, oh yes, now I'm remembering. And now Joe Neguse is goes at Andrew Clyde for his amendment, which Andrew, just to understand if any of this is confusing, remember what I said. They have to pass a rule to get this bill to the floor to vote. And as of, I'll refresh it right now just to make sure I'm not giving bad information. 10 minutes ago when I last checked, yeah. I think we're in this. Wait, is this updating? Hold on. Let me make sure before I say something not true. Updated 2 minutes ago. House Republicans or leaders are still trying to corral enough votes. Yeah, to pass. Yeah. Okay. So there's no new updates. So they have not passed the rule yet that then will allow them to move the bill to the floor. So what Joe Neguse is saying at literally 1 a.m. in the morning yesterday is, your weirdo amendment that will benefit your pew stores is not going to be approved. Remember, I told you why. If they change this bill, it has to go back to the Senate for their approval. So they don't want to change any bills. So Andrew Clyde is just in here grandstanding for NRA money, right? And Joe Neguse, who's a genius, is pushing him into a corner, pointing out, hey, bro, this is not going to happen. You're just in here grandstanding for the NRA.
Mr. Clyde, I saw you tweeted out a statement that I don't want to misstate your words, but something to the effect of you're fighting to the end to push this particular amendment, this provision that you're fighting for.
It's constitutional.
So I assume. Yeah, I hear you. So given that,
what else is constitutional? Because I can't stand MAGA since they can't read and they don't even know anything about 2A. The Second Amendment was to, arm regulated militias. They didn't keep pew-pews in their home. The weapons were kept, where the militia stored weapons. But that was, let me just be clear, 2A was about tracking down groups of white men, gathering together, getting pew-pews, and tracking down and pew-pewing runaway slaves. That's what 2A is. So while Andrew Clyde said, it's constitutional. Yeah, it's super horrible what you guys did. You enslaved black people. And then when they would try to escape, you guys changed the Constitution so you could get groups of white men armed to go chase them down and pew-pew them. Yeah, I'm glad you yell so proudly about the history of 2A. Disgusting.
Given your passion for that, I assume you're going to vote against the rule when this amendment is excluded?
How I vote, you'll find out when I vote, okay? But I'll tell you this, that my amendment would certainly make the bill much better.
Well, but do you realize your amendment's not getting ruled in order? I mean, that's not, you don't actually think that it is getting ruled in order?
We shall see.
Well, I mean, I hope you'll stick around. So, because you've testified before this committee before, so I mean, I know you understand this. We're going to finish here in just about 5 minutes.
That's fine.
And then as the members depart the room, the chairwoman is going to call up the rule. There are going to be no amendments to this bill. So this is kind of theater here. Unless you're willing to vote against the rule tomorrow in 9 hours, I guess, if you feel so passionate about this amendment, you said it's constitutional.
It is.
Clearly are impassioned
about it. Well, if you don't ask, the answer is no.
What was that?
If you don't ask, the answer is no.
But you know the answer is no. Well, Chairwoman, are you going to rule Mr. Clyde's amendment in order? Am I mistaken on this? I thought this was a closed rule.
It's like Mr. Clyde said, you'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely is a closed rule, and they can't amend this or it has to go back to the Senate, and this is stupid. And the only real stand, this is just grandstanding in the middle of the night, wasting time, is being Thomas Massey, vote against the rule, right? If you believe this is constitutional and is well deserved to be in here, then you would vote against the rule and vote with Democrats. That's the only option. Otherwise, you're just wasting time talking.
So I guess in 7 minutes, we all will find out, lo and behold, that your amendment and all the other amendments that have been submitted are not going to be entertained. And I guess I would just say, Mr. Clyde, if you feel this passionate about it, because some of your other colleagues, Mr. Massey, for example, are very passionate about particulars with respect to this bill and willing to vote against the rule to ultimately ensure that his worldview is reflected. So insofar as you believe this is a sacrosanct constitutional principle, as you've described, I would think that you'd vote against the rule. But in any event, I hope you'll stick around for a couple minutes for the chairwoman to announce that your amendment has not been made in order. But Mr. Clyde, I saw. Yes.
And oh my God, it just gets worse and worse. So here's what I was talking about. This is the coup de grace when Maxwell Frost at like 1:30 in the morning just flips out. And I love when the ghost of Marjorie's future, Virginia Fox, freaks out, because like it rarely happens anymore. And you could tell he's like, okay. And by the way, this is where we really need to love TikTok Shop. And I mean, because Maxwell Frost is going to say some things that are not appropriate for TikTok. So let's all just tap the screen, share the live. I don't have much more I have more things that happen on the House floor, but we've gone through a lot. So if the worst happens, I guess that's fine. But this is what happened in the middle of the night when Maxwell Frost is like, I am not sorry. I don't care. You want me to say sorry? I'm not saying sorry. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, see, they say they're pro-life because they want the baby to be born, go to school, and get shot in the school. Die in the school, die on the streets. No. That is what they say.
I'm not going to say anything. You've gone over the cliff.
I moved to strike his words.
Over the cliff.
Wait. You've gone over. We were going.
hear creepy old Virginia being like, he's gone over the cliff. Be quiet. You guys are literally ordering the unalivings of children, babies, poor people, veterans, people in foster care. And you're saying he's gone over the cliff for saying something that's absolutely true. But listen to it. It's like, listen closely, because it's like, he yells things and then he also talks under his breath, which is the best part.
That is what they say.
I'm not going to say anything. You've gone over the cliff.
I moved to strike his words. Over the cliff.
Wait, you've gone over. We were going to be quiet, but you've gone over now.
I meant every word.
We are.
I meant every word is what he just said. He just talks fast. That's Maxwell Frost. This is the first Gen Z congressperson. He went to Stoneman Douglas, like his platform he ran on, right? He went to a school where there was a pew-pewer, right? So he's very passionate about the hypocrisy of Republicans on the 2A issue.
Every word.
We are going to strike your words. But on the other hand, it might be good to leave your words.
When you hear her say, we're going to strike your words, it means from the congressional record, which is a primary source, we're going to erase your words, meaning no one will read them 100 years from now. But then she says, on second thought, maybe we should leave them so people know what Democrats are like. And it's like, do leave them. Do leave them. This pew-pew regulation, common sense control for pew-pews is an 85-15 issue. Let's do leave them. For the kids, that you guys pretend to care about.
But on the other hand, it might be good to leave your words. Might be good to leave your words. Because that's how you feel. But you are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity. You will not.
You have no integrity. You guys are pathological liars. I love that. What integrity, Virginia? What are you talking about? And believe me, she's about to say, here comes a series of delusional lies from old crazy grandma.
We are pro-life people from conception to natural death. Most of us are. And don't you come in here and say, we want to preserve life so people can get shot.
That's what I've seen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Are you through, Ms. Ledger-Fernandez?
Get off my porch, young man. I'm delusional and have no idea what I'm saying. I'm too old to recognize every single bill we've passed is contrary to the words I just said. Don't make me turn on the hose. Go on, get. Republicans never send their best because people whose brains work would never do this.
I hope so.
Well, Madam Chair, I want to thank all of our witnesses for coming in and laying out the distinct perspectives and approaches between how we believe this bill will affect Americans, their ability to get health insurance, which is essential to their ability to both live a healthy life and to continue to live. And with that, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I did make a motion that has not been acted on. If you would like for me to withdraw that motion, I will withdraw it.
Mr. Scott, I think it's better to leave those words in the
That's fine. Let's let them know how they feel.
Than to take the proper
motion, just for the record.
You guys feel we have factual math, we have facts and math to back up what we're saying. Like MAGA has feelings. We have facts and math. Like MAGA always confuses their feelings with the actual facts that are backed up by their, that Democrats have backed up by Republicans' own voting records. No, you guys feel. We use statistical analysis impact studies, which impact studies mean statistical analysis, to determine the impact of the BS you guys do. You guys feel. We use math.
You're withdrawing your motion. Thank you. Thank you. The panel is dismissed. Thank you very much.
Here comes creepy Andrew Clyde, the guy who wants to introduce an amendment to benefit, so he'd have better margins in his Pew Pew stores at Georgia, trying to quote scripture at Maxwell Frost.
You guys even have
By the way, I might remind my Democrat colleagues of Proverbs 13:5. Democratic colleagues of Proverbs 13:5. And you can add 14:5 to that too. This whole bill.
Andrew Clyde, nobody needs you to bring up scripture, you weirdo. Oh my God. And that was the end. It pretty much ended at almost 2 a.m. in the Rules Committee. That was the conclusion, with Andrew Clyde being like, hey, I'd like to. And no, did Andrew Clyde's amendment get added to the bill? Of course, effing not. It didn't. We are in literal crazy town. I want to show one more. I feel like I have a really good Jim McGovern moment at the end of the day. I don't want to miss one. Sorry. I haven't missed too many. I have everything from the House floor, but some of it's just so. But I just want to make sure, because I think this is one of the best moments. I think, if I remember correctly, this is the wrong clip. Sorry. I have hundreds of clips, but I just don't want to forget something really good.
Mr. Speaker, this bill is a moral failure. It rips health care away from millions. It pushes more families into hunger. It leaves seniors stranded. Also, billionaires can keep more of what they'll never spend. Republicans say, lose your job? Too bad. Hospitals shut down? Good luck. Can't afford groceries or insulin? Figure it out. But if you're a big oil, a CEO, or a trust fund baby, don't worry, we've got you covered. This bill is about who matters and who doesn't. And guess what? Working people didn't make the cut. But I want my Republican colleagues to know they don't have to do this. They don't have to sell out their own communities. They don't have to vote for a bill that goes against fundamental things they claim to believe in. Crazy as it sounds, they don't have to hurt people to keep Trump happy. Find a spine. Find a conscience, for God's sake. Because the American people are watching. They know the difference between real leadership and bootlicking. A vote for this bill is a vote for cruelty. It's a vote for fiscal irresponsibility and a vote to screw over your constituents to give more to the ultra-wealthy. This bill is a middle finger to working people. Now, we can still stop this. We can still do the right thing. Vote no. Go back to the table. Work with us on tax relief for people who are not making millions and billions of dollars. Don't let this be your legacy. That so many of you are blindly going along with this just to please the guy in the White House is shameful. You have a responsibility to care for the people in your districts. And you're voting for a bill that's going to throw millions off of health care and rip food off kitchen tables all across the country. It's shameful. It is shameful. I'm disgusted that we are here debating this trash. And with that, I urge a no vote on the rule and a no vote on the bill. I yield back.
Man is a treasure. The gentleman from Massachusetts, Jim McGovern, is a treasure. I swear to God. Every time he speaks, we should all don't you just love this? The work. He doesn't sleep for days doing the stuff. I never stop being unbelievably impressed by Jim McGovern and the fight in that man. And that's what I keep saying. When I lived in Manhattan for years, that's when I realized my people are in that part of the country. New Yorkers, people from the way you go. People in Massachusetts, the way you guys just never shut up. And then when someone tells you to shut up, you get more angry. And then you're like, now I'm going to talk more because you told me to be quiet. Never has it been a better time to never shut up. And I just cannot get enough. Like, there's so many representatives in Massachusetts that just blow my mind. Like Auchincloss, Jake Auchincloss, amazing. Seth Moulton, the way he dismantled Pete Hegseth, like the former Marine, Jim McGovern. There's so many reps in the Northeast that just keeps getting better and better and better and louder. And every time Trump tries to tell them to be quiet, they're like, now I'm speaking 10 times more today because Trump tried to silence me. And it's like, that's the energy we need, like that New York protest energy. Like, it's a good day to die because they are trying to pass legislation to make it so. Like, that is the reality we are in. And like, we have to find our voices, and not just our voices, but when they try to shut you down, scream effing louder. Right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's never a better time to post videos on the internet, to get on the right side of history, because maybe we can't win this battle, but we will be on the right side of history. Just think of the Schmazzies. It doesn't matter how many wins they had. Nobody effing likes them. That's like MAGA, like celebrating mini wins that will lead to everyone hating them in perpetuity for all time. Like, you're winning nothing. Like, first of all, you're losing in the moment because you can't read or do math, and then you're just completely on the wrong side of history. Good luck. Good luck. And again, I will be monitoring this as it goes on all night. Like, as of now, let me refresh really quick because I just want to make sure there's no updates. Yeah, I think we're still... Is this really nothing? There's literally no more updates. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't think this has moved. Let me just check a couple more places where... Because if there's anything I need to report, I want to make sure I do it before... Let me check my favorite people who update the news as fast as possible. Yeah, it seems like Republicans are... message for Trump's threatening Jerome Powell. Mamdani is giving a speech. Awesome. I love Mamdani. When all this is over, this big, beautiful bill stuff, I'm going to do like a whole live on how awesome Mamdani is. I love that man. Oh, wait. This is what it was. Okay. Jonah Hughes said something on the House floor. Let me text this to myself really quick and pull it up live because this was the one. I knew there was one other thing. Hold on. Let me find this. Jonah Hughes is on the House floor talking some more S to people. Hold on. Jonah Hughes wants to know why Mike Johnson continues to leave votes open indefinitely for hours every time they don't have enough votes. So what they're saying is like, they were supposed to vote, but Mike Johnson doesn't have the votes. So what's happening is Mike Johnson is strong-arming people with Donald Trump behind closed doors. And instead of just being like, hey, we don't have the votes, like everyone can just go home until the next day, he just leaves the vote open for hours and no one knows what's going on. Like, that's why we're all a little confused right now. They don't have the votes to vote on the rule, but Mike Johnson won't just say that because they're like behind closed doors trying to like blackmail and strong arm people and promise them weird stuff. So this is Jonah Hughes just on the House floor pointing that out. Like, what the F is Mike Johnson doing? The answer is he's busy. He's on his knees for Donald Trump. He's probably spraying that cologne all over himself while he gives him a Andrew Jackson.
Mr. Speaker, my understanding is that Republican leadership has issued a notice to their members that they are not to be, aren't required to be on the floor, essentially an informal adjournment, notwithstanding that this amendment vote is pending. Is it appropriate under the rules of procedure of Jefferson's manual to keep a vote open while simultaneously declaring to members that they're free to leave?
Say what? What the chair would say to the gentleman from Colorado is that the under Clause 9 of Rule 20, the underlying minimum time for voting is 5 minutes on this vote. This vote remains open. So the minimum time is 5 minutes, and there's not a maximum time, nor to this chair's knowledge is there a requirement that during the vote that the members remain on the floor. As the gentleman from Colorado would surely know, it is customary for members to vote in the middle of a vote series, leave the floor, and then come back for additional votes later. So I hope that clears up any misunderstanding the gentleman from Colorado would have.
Mr. Speaker, it does, and I appreciate the Speaker's response. Is it customary for a vote to go over 1 hour?
It is not unprecedented, though.
There might be one time in the history of America. This is weird. This is not something that's done. Stop. God, they would say anything.
The chair is not a historian. You would have to.
Are you fighting?
Yeah, it's not normal. But he can say the truth. Okay, I have one more thing I want to show because I love this person. So I just also texted something else to myself. Hold on.
We have a president that is more committed to selling fragrances than he is to telling the truth. And they are negotiating with this person about bending the knee to him rather than bending the knee to the constituents. And no, sir. No.
Sorry, this is my algorithm. It's really depressing. It's just people being terrorized by ICE. Sorry, we'll focus on immigration after Donald Trump grifts and robs us all. I think that's fair. I wanted to say thank you for the sub, Savannah. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it so much. You're amazing. I did not forget. I want to just refresh real quick and make sure I'm not missing anything. But I think we're at 4 hours and 4 minutes. Can we get to 600K really quick before we end the live? Let's all tap the screen. Let's get to 600K. Why not hurt our fingers a little bit more? And then just a reminder, let me just check my text messages and make sure I didn't miss anything. I think Pickles and I are going to debate tomorrow. Now, normally, lately, I think last time we might have started at like 3 p.m. Eastern. He's been sleeping a lot. So I'll text him and see what time he wants to start tomorrow. And I will let you all know. And then depending on what's going on, I don't know, like maybe I don't know. We'll talk and go over. We'll keep updating during that live. But this vote, as soon as Trump essentially promises or they bribe or strong arm all these Republicans and get them whatever they require for their vote, then they're going to vote on this rule and then they're going to vote on move the bill to the floor and vote on the bill. And that in Trump's fake deadline would happen tomorrow at some point. Right? Oh, wait, what? Thank you, Yeetus Thypers. Thank you so much for subscribing. I couldn't even say that without laughing. Thank you so much for subscribing and also making my day. That was funny. Tap the screen. I love screen names. Like, it's such a great way to express your personality and your beliefs. I need to... Like, so many people have the funniest screen names on their accounts. I need to change mine. We are almost to 600K.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now.
Thank you, Devil Dog, for following me. I used to know, I mean, there's so many Marines, so it's like someone whose name is Devil Dog. There was this lawyer whose name was Devil Dog that I used to, I'm sure it's not you, but thank you for following me. Every time I see a Devil Dog, there used to be this lawyer that followed me on TikTok that I'm like, God, too bad I lost track of that guy. Go Marines. Thank you for your service. And I'm sorry that we keep increasing the military budget and we never do anything for veterans. It's just a GD shame. It's embarrassing to live in this country. Wait, why is... To the Twitch live? I'm so sorry. Oh no, I guess it's still working. I thought the Twitch stream stopped and I was like, God, I wish I would have noticed that hours ago. I think it's okay. I think it's just my computer. Thank you guys so much. So again, I'll be debating with Pickles tomorrow at some point. Just a reminder, if you have a few extra dollars, facts still matter. That's his literal screen name, Steve, as we all well know. He's going through a tough time financially and has raised so much money for other people when they are having a tough time. in the general chat in my Discord, I posted the links to his pay apps, but also you can just go to his link tree in his bio and find them. And if you have a couple extra dollars to help Steve, please, please, please do. Oh yeah, and Dust Bunny. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I should stop trying to be a mod because mods do it better than me. Thank you for pitching that. I'm always like 10 seconds behind the mods. It's probably more than that. Thank you. And so if anyone can help Steve, I think we need to raise like $3,500. He needs to pay his mortgage and things. He's had a ton of extra expenses. A few months ago, he had to put his son into rehab. His daughter needs to go to college. There's all sorts of things going wrong. When you have a marketing consultancy business and the economy becomes uncertain, it's not good. I could tell you that firsthand. So if you have a couple extra dollars to help Steve, please, please, please do. And thank you guys for being here. It's like when we do this together, it's like, I know this will forever live on the internet. And it's like, it's a way of keeping ourselves sane together. So I appreciate you guys all being here. And as updates come out, I will update you. Join my Discord so you get the latest updates. And I shall